Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you guys are. I hope you're having a fantastic day. It's SoulSaint here, and we have the new Fusion event calendar going live for Blizaar the Howler. I wanted to give you guys a quick breakdown about how some strategies or some ways that you can kind of prepare yourself for this event. It is a hybrid event, like we talked about before on his breakdown of his champion kit and everything. You're going to need to get not only four in total. Bobos Shapform? I don't know how you say the name. So you're going to have to collect fragments to get those epics, which you're going to eventually have to do some upgrades towards to make sure that you can, summon them into Blizaar, right? As of right now, this is a very interesting calendar. There are some overlapping ways where you can double dip and maybe even triple dip, but you have to be very, very careful with this one in particular. So, let's begin. So, as of right now, the Dragon Tournament is live. There is a currently existing Dungeon Divers event that's kind of not related to the Fusion that you may be able to slowly pace your way through on top of a Champion Training Tournament. So there is some double/triple dipping there that you could do for different various events. I would say you could probably go at the Dragon Tournament pretty slow pace. You don't have to like burst through it all in one go. I think if I were a person that was trying to get Blizaar, I would try to prioritize the Champion Training side of it a little bit more. Since starting Saturday, you'll have the Dungeon Diver event number 1, which is where I would see to get the big bang for your buck in terms of the Dragon Tournament. And I would say this is probably like a really good area to get like three areas taken care of in one go. If you have like your Solo Teodor or your duo comps that can basically farm Dragon efficiently while also farming food, this is a great way to kind of get all those done at the same time. As it currently stands, Classic Arena is going to be starting on Saturday, which means that you pretty much just got to go at that at a daily pace. As long as you're doing your dailies, you're draining your resources and all that. You should be able to get this pretty easily, I feel like. There is going to be a Summon Rush and a Champion Chase, so make sure you plan your resources in terms of shards accordingly. I would save Summon Rush for more stuff that's like kind of related to what you use to summon and not so much what you're trying to get with your summons. That's where Champion Chase kind of kicks in a little bit more, but that one's going to be a little bit further the next following week. On top of that, too, we do have that Dungeon Divers event that starts on Saturday. But Sunday, we also have a overlapping Artifact Enhancement event. So we have 3 AE events this round. I would definitely go by the rule of 15. Mine's is just a safety net for me, which means that at a minimum, I'm looking to expect to spend roughly around like anywhere between 30 to 45 mil. If I'm being a little bit more ambitious with like enchanting and whatnot, maybe I do like 50 mil just to be safe over the course of these next couple weeks. I know it's a little bit extravagant, but like just in case. That's my just in case budget for Artifact Enhancement events. We do have the end of Dragon followed up by Ice Golem Tournament, which is where you can also get your second set. So what I would try to do is I would get a little bit of progress to Dragon Tournament while prioritizing Champ Training for the first portion of this Fusion. And then once Dungeon Divers opens up, we finish Dragon Tournament and then continue on to Champ Training if it's still not finished. When Ice Golem comes up, that's when we want to finish up not only Ice Golem, but Dungeon Divers number 1 as well. So that's kind of how my synergy is going to go there in terms of at least being able to double dip. If I'm effective with my ability to farm, then it would be like triple dipping using champions along the way to farm for champ training. Now, week 2. Week 2, we're kind of intersected around Wednesday, I believe. We're going to have another champ training event, so it doesn't stop there. Which is where, like, there's not really any overlapping events, so I would just take some time and just farm champions specifically to make sure that you can get a really decent amount of progress in there. And to be honest with you, if you can, try to finish that one as soon as possible, because the next following events are typically tournaments or areas where you're not going to have, like, a lot of room to be able to squeeze extra food in. Case in point, Fire Night Tournament comes up. So it'll be a great chance to start farming some Savage or whatever they got, whatever you need from that particular dungeon. We do have an Artifact Enhancement event, as well as a Dungeon Divers that's going to come up on Friday as well. So I would say making small progress in Fire Night on Thursday, but really putting the throttle on Friday forward would probably be the best time to get your Dungeon Divers and Fire Night tournament event done. Champion Chase is also going to be on Friday, which we talked about. And then I feel like Classic Arena yet again is going to be another one. The second one is going to be the same as the first one. You just make sure you keep and maintain a pace, and you stay on top of it, and you should be good to go. I see that we have another Artifact Enhancement event roughly around the same time as Spider. The Spider one kind of aligns up the same way. You could do a little bit of Dungeon Divers number 2 as well as Dungeon Divers number 3, including Spider. So I would say most of Dungeon Divers 2 would be probably facilitated through Fire Night, with any little bit left over being done in Spider. But Dungeon Divers 3 and Spider, since they overlap as well, would probably be where I put the throttle at to make sure I get those fragments as well. Now we do have one extra little caveat here, and I didn't talk about it just yet. But at the very end on Monday, Christmas, there is a Heroes Path event, and I'm not entirely sure exactly what we're going to have for requirements. It may be a combination of some of these events or tournaments, and I definitely think that it'd be very important for you guys to be careful with this. I think that one of the most important things about fusions is pacing yourself, using your resources frugally, and maintaining consistency while you're farming. So, like, basically, you don't have to throttle too hard on a lot of events if you go at a decent pace. And then as the events are kind of aligning with each other, that's when you start picking up momentum, right? So, like, a gradual increase in productivity in that particular dungeon or event is pretty much the way to go. Definitely be careful, though, because depending on what this hero path is going to have for us is going to be very important for you guys to be very careful. And I don't believe you necessarily need to have this one or to participate in this one, but this could be a way that if you skip one event, you can jump into the hero's path, catch back up, and still secure the fusion. So it looks like at a total, I'm going to disappear here for a second. The amount of fragments available from both tournaments and events are going to equal to the total 400 you're going to need for each of these Bovoses. I'm going to call them the Bozos. But the 50 from the hero's path is an optional opportunity to either catch up or have a little bit more extra to work with. So just be careful with that at the end of it all. Make sure you guys are careful and on top of your tournaments and events, and I think you pretty much can clear through this. I think the point requirements, I think we saw a little bit in game, and we're gonna switch over to in game real quick. They do seem a little bit more on the steeper side, so I'm a little concerned there. Normally, like, events aren't too bad, or tournaments aren't too bad. Looks like the Dragon tournament is pretty much on pace around the 2K range. Is 2.2 to 2300 range is pretty much about what I would expect from a tournament-like event. But looking at champion training, 6200 if you're doing the Yuletide, 5150 for the fragments for the champion training side of it. It's a little bit more on the steeper side, so definitely would get the ball rolling and start making progress in this regard before you start losing time and you're playing catch-up, right? So, with that being said, are you going for this event? Let me know what you guys think. I'm excited to see how you guys respond to this. I feel like this is going to be an interesting one. There's a lot of controversy about whether or not people are going to even want to go for this event, considering there's so much other stuff going on right now. You know, we have Curse City. We're still in the middle of the Yuletide event, which isn't finished. I don't know. There's a lot to toss up right now, so maybe adding another series of requirements to yourself right now might be a little bit too demanding, especially in the fact that we're going into, like, a holiday period. So I'm not sure. You guys let me know what you guys think, though. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and always remember, stay ascended.
Click together,